All right, NBA talk. Let's go ahead and tune into the Eastern Conference and look at the hottest team in the NBA right now, which is the Cleveland Cavaliers, sitting at the top of the Eastern Conference and the whole NBA standings at a 13-0 record. Now, last team that we saw had a first hot start to this in the NBA season was back to the 2015-2016 Golden State Warriors, who won 27 games in a row at a 27-0 start, which was unbelievable, which was around, like 7 years ago or so. Now coming into the 2024-2025 NBA season, the Cleveland Cavaliers, which no one would have expected to be this hot to begin the year, are sitting at 13-0 as of right now, winning games against top-notch teams as the LA Lakers, beating the Golden State Warriors, taking on the Milwaukee Bucks, who've had a terrible start to the NBA season, but are still quote-unquote top-notch if they can get their team back together and fully healthy as well. But pretty formidable when it comes here. Donovan Mitchell has taken that extra leap as he's been an underrated superstar for the last couple of seasons. With the Cleveland Cavaliers, they and the Boston Celtics are the only teams that are sitting at the hierarchy of the Eastern Conference, and pretty much every other team in the Eastern Conference pretty much has a 500 record or below. We do have the Orlando Magic at number 3 as of right now at a 7-6 record, but they've been dealing with injuries. If they were healthy, maybe it'd be a different story. But let's tune back into the Cleveland as of right now. Now, the top heavy of the Eastern Conference, everyone expected to be the Boston Celtics, and there was predictions that the New York Knicks would be in that mix. Now, they have their own problems. We'll deal with them a little later. But let's tune in back into Cleveland as of right now. Donovan Mitchell is giving you 24 points a game, around 4 assists and 4 rebounds, and shooting, well within 45-46% or so, making around 3.5 threes per game. And pretty much when it comes to the clutch, him and Darius Garland have taken that leap to pretty much close out games. One of the biggest things in the NBA offseason was letting go of their old coach and bringing in Kenny Atkinson, who was a head coach for the Brooklyn Nets back into, I believe, around 2016 to 2020. And they made that big playoff push in 2019. Kenny Atkinson, for the last 3 years or so, was an assistant with Golden State. To seeing the X and O's, the foundation, the culture, the winning culture within that, Kenny Atkinson is a very underrated coach. And I'm glad he's finally getting that shine now coming into Cleveland, which Kenny Atkinson has player development, run X's and O's, who has the respect for these players, and who's a formidable head coach in the NBA as of today. Now, the starting lineup has been pretty much the same for Cleveland as of last season. There were some injuries with Jarrett Allen, Evan Mobley, and such. But now we've seen a healthy Cleveland taking on the whole NBA world landscape. Darius Garland was in trade rumors as of last season, but now he's been taking on that full approach of giving you 21 points a game. Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen are defensive monsters as your front court, which they both will give you around 9 to 10 rebounds a game and holding it down within there. Other big names are Karis LeVert coming off your bench within the team. Ty Jerome has taken a good leap as their shooting guard, giving you around 10 points a game or so. And their bench is pretty formidable. I mean, you got, Nianj within there. You got Dean Wade. This may be Tristan Thompson's last season. But looking at the landscape for Cleveland, they are defensive monsters. They are deep. They have length. The only thing that comes down to them is just health. I fully expect the Cleveland Cavaliers, they're going to take on Chicago here on the 15th, and then the Charlotte Hornets. Now, they could potentially go 15-0, and the big game is going to be against the Boston Celtics at Boston on the 19th. Boston pretty much there could take off the winning streak for Cleveland, but we'll see when it comes down to it. The Cleveland Cavaliers do have a good schedule coming up until pretty much around Christmas time. Then things are going to get a little more difficult upon their end, but Cleveland's in a great situation to be comparable somewhat as the 2015 Atlanta Hawks. I expect the Cleveland Cavaliers to be a second-round team, potentially a conference finals appearance. Now, favorites to represent the East and go to the NBA Finals, I would punch the brakes right there. I would not take that case as of right now. Let's see what happens with the Eastern Conference, with Philadelphia getting back Paul George and Joel Embiid, and as well as Tyrese Maxey. Banchero coming back with the Orlando Magic. See if Milwaukee can get things back together on their end. Same thing with the New York, and if they can bring Mitchell Robinson. But overall, Cleveland's looking like a great team. at a very hot start. I expect them to go 15-0, and Boston pretty much can end that winning streak. But I expect Cleveland, if healthy, should be a top 3 seed becoming until the end of the season. We'll jump a little more to Cleveland, but let's see what happens with them, all right?